Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally here with Heaven's Secret 2. Yes, it's been a while, and to be quite honest, I forgot everything that happened. I think last episode, Malbonte finally said that he's on our side now and he wants to get rid of the Mother of Life, but no one believes anything he's saying, so we all kind of hate him. And until this man says why he wanted to wake that Mother of Life up just to get her killed, I am on hate Malbonte train. And I'm not even trying to disguise that fact. I also said that in the last episode because if there's something I can stand is when there's too much secrecy. Like, you're mysterious and everything, we get it. Like, we've known that Malbonte is like this, but at least give us something. Give me something I can work with, and he didn't even do that. He's just like, yeah, hold on, babe, this is only temporary. No. You gotta give me something I can work with. And until he does that, we're on hate Malbonte train, and we are on love Lucifer and Astaroth train. Hunger showed up and he was like, let's strain your powers. Let's see how that goes. Season 3, episode 4. The more dangerous and mysterious the forest, the more important it is to harness. Humans are born to grow and develop, to become stronger, smarter, and more unique, and then pass these qualities on to their offspring. The law of survival has no lofty implications. There is no higher purpose. So why the hell does it still feel like there is some point to it all? Why are we so desperate to defend our world? Because we want to live. Why wouldn't we want to fight for the world that we were born into? Every single human being has this desire to want to live, to develop themselves, to become strong, to find love, to be independent, to show that they can leave a mark on this earth before they leave it. Because let's be honest, all of us are gonna die at some point. None of us want to admit it to ourselves because we don't want to die. But sooner or later, we're gonna die. We're not immortal. So sooner or later, we're gonna die. So every single human being in their own way tries to find a way to leave a mark on this earth. Because we want to be remembered. We want to continue to exist. A lot of people believe that the soul is ancient, but sooner or later, people are gonna forget if you don't have this huge ass imprint on humanity. So we all just try to leave a mark on this earth while we're on it. Doesn't matter how, and doesn't matter how big that imprint is. So of course we're gonna try everything to defend it. I'm not dying until I've achieved my goal. Episode 4, Farewell Plague. Yeah, Plague is dead. The horseman turned around when we landed and looked straight at me. Why are you here? Hunger smiled faintly as he said, I want to teach you how to kill. I suppressed his power so that the others wouldn't lose consciousness. What do you mean? And why would you want to do this? I need to even the dots. It's more interesting that way, isn't it? Dino came to his senses and stood in front of me. Came to his senses? If we already suppressed his power, how come that this man still fainted? You're not welcome here. That's okay, I'll survive. Hunger. There was a spark between us, but it went out as soon as I realized I was making a mistake. And now we pretend we didn't get closer, although I still noticed the occasional teasing spark in Hunger's eyes. Oh, yeah, because I played. Because I played. As though he was silent, saying, I remember, but since you want to forget everything, I'll forget it too. I'll go with you if you agree to get away from the academy. Far enough that no one will be affected by your power. Okay. Simona, are you sure? We have to even the dots, my son. We have to even the dots. The fact that Plague died, we all wanted her to die, of course, but the way she was killed off wasn't on my liking. She was a villain, we all wanted her to die, and I agree. But the fact that she was killed was more because she cared about someone else. I didn't want her to die because of that message, but because of all the atrocities she committed. Yes, he's going to teach me. Hunger extended his hand. Then let's go. I smiled and shook my head. Let's fly. I ignored his hand and soared to the sky. Hilarious. Ooh, nice background. We landed among the cliffs. Energy couldn't pass through them, and we could practice in peace without worrying about anyone noticing us. Hunger lit a cigarette, of course, sat down on a boulder, crossed one leg over the other, and stared at me thoughtfully. What should I ask him? Uh-oh. If I pick the wrong one, I'm gonna jump all of the questions again. What is the Mother of Life doing now? She's doing what all deities do. Observing. Did she go back into the sky? And is looking down on us right now? Does she like what she sees? Would you like it? Next question. It depends on what I like to see. Y'all, I can with all the negativity that's going on in the world. And sadly, negative personality traits make part of every single human being. So we can't really ignore the fact that evil is happening in this life. And no matter how hard we try to suppress our negative emotions, they will always find a way to the light because we were born with both. So no matter how hard we try, we won't be capable to completely erase all the negativity that's going on in the world, because technically we are in parts fueled by negative emotions. And if we want to only commit good things, we would have to consist technically only out of pure light, as in pure personality traits. And since we don't have that, it will almost be impossible to create something that good that me, as someone that thinks that this world is so cruel and dark, could become better. Avoiding that question. So are you. Because there's no clear answer. What's the Mother of Life doing right now? What are the chances that the Mother of Life will spare our worlds? You don't like my answer. Is that why you decided to teach me? Partly. Is there a way to defeat the Mother of Life? There is a way to kill her shell. But she cannot be destroyed completely, not by anyone. And I cannot kill a chicken. And all of us will forever be hostages to our shells. So when do we start? Hunger leaned over, extinguishing his cigarette on the ground without getting up. I think you already realized that you don't have my power. I only awakened what was sleeping inside of you. We may appear similar, but we're completely different. This ability is killing me. Because you're taking energy from your life force. But you can take it from elsewhere. Take it like you do. Yes, but not from the living. He finally stood up and walked over to me. Our entire world is an exchange of energies. Something inside you broke. Developed differently. Something inside you broke. We see the glass half empty. And he's like, no, it developed differently. He sees the glass half full. You're missing one link. And everything else fell into a different place, like a chain of dominoes. A chain that has been broken. I help you get to the tiles that are still standing. But your actions may unwittingly knock those down too. So what should I do? Take life in exchange. From whom? From nature. It can regenerate. It has an inexhaustible supply of energy. Send down roots and imagine energy circulating through them. With you as the conduit. Take energy from nature and use it to suppress or siphon it from others. Your life force will remain intact and nature will regenerate. The Mother of Life. When she was walking, everything bloomed on one side and the other, it burned out. Was she doing something similar? That's a very flattering comparison, but it's not entirely accurate. The Mother of Life can give and she can take, bitch. In her case, the laws of annihilation apply, or rather the symbolic expression of those laws. So I could use this power continuously? You can use it as much as nature allows you to, as you will need time to recover, but if you go somewhere else, you'll be re-energized. So I need to keep moving? Yes. Is there anything else I should know?
You can take away the pain of others and you can suppress it.
Meaning?
If someone gets hurt, you won't be able to take away their wound or take on their suffering, but you can dull their pain.
Like an anesthetic?
Right. Do you want to try it out?
Of course I do. Hunger grinned, took out another cigarette, and returned to his perch.
Then begin.
Imagine sending down roots. I had experience visualizing things, and it came easily to mind. Invisible tendrils burst out of me and sank into the ground. Now draw out the energy. Ooh, look at this. I imagined how the tendrils moved as they pulsed with nature's life force.
Okay, now I'll distract an illusion at you, suppress it or deflect it back at me.
I opened my eyes and was momentarily confused by the sight of scorched grass around me, but at the same time something blossomed and strengthened inside me.
Come on.
An image appeared before my eyes. Of course they would use Malbonte.
You're the only one I care about in this world.
Malbonte was standing there with his hand outstretched. I wanted to go to him, but I knew that it was an illusion. Path of strength.
You're not here.
I extended my hand and cast the illusion back at the horseman. Hunger trembled and his gaze became distant. He was looking ahead, but seeing something else, something that wasn't there. Hunger's lips parted and he whispered, not realizing that he was speaking to an illusion.
How long do I have left? Thank you, Mother. I appreciate your gift.
Oh my god. And then he blinked, coming to his senses. He straightened up and looked at me with feigned indifference.
You even managed to trick me for a second.
What gift did the Mother of Life give you? What is it you want so badly? He was silent for a while, deciding whether he should tell me. But in the end he said,
A countdown.
Until what?
Until death. There is no meaning if you can't die. And I can't commit suicide. That's how the Mother made us.
Hunger flicked away the cigarette butt.
I'm impressed. You catch on fast.
Still, won't the Mother of Life be furious if she finds out you're helping me?
No, she's giving you a chance, and she won't be angry if you take full advantage of it.
She left marks on us. What do they mean? The corners of Hunger's lips quirked up slightly. He clicked his tongue and shook his head, looking at me from beneath his brows.
Don't be so greedy. I've already done more than I needed to. Shall we continue?
I'm ready to train until I collapse. Maybe that's enough for today. Do you even have to ask? Definitely. Hunger spread his hands.
Now you must subdue my pain.
What are you... He quickly slashed his nails across his wrist. They sliced through the skin like blades and blood splashed onto the ground in vicious brungy droplets. The horseman winced, but he seemed to be doing this to show me that he could feel it. Hunger moved his hand and the blood dripped faster.
Will you help?
Can you dive bloodless?
Are you hoping to get rid of another horseman?
I went closer and stooped down. Why not? Then only 2 horsemen would remain. Hunger paused, watching the way his blood flowed down his wrist, and then answered a question I had already forgotten I'd asked.
Oh, we've already established that I won't die from blood loss.
Yeah. I focused on his hand. At first I tried to image how he felt, but I could only guess. Then I visualized the pain. It slowly pulsed in a pink glowing hollow over the wound. I intuitively understood that Hunger wasn't actually in pain. Although the wound was deep, it only felt like a scratch to him. But even that unpleasant tingling needed to be dulled. I opened my hand, and then clenched my fingers into a fist, as if squeezing the pain. It didn't seem to do anything, but Hunger quietly said,
Well done.
The wound healed before my eyes, disappearing as if it were never there. The horseman got up and I followed. Confused, I shook myself off.
You're making progress, but I'm afraid it's time for you to go. It looks like your friends are starting to worry.
Will you be back?
I don't know yet.
We heard voices. I turned towards the sound, and when I looked back at Hunger, he was already up in the sky. The horseman disappeared behind the cliffs. I glanced at the wilted grass and also took off, going to meet the order's approaching soldiers. Oh my god, these little bitches. Can't you just wait until I'm done? But the training didn't end there. My training session continued and became harsher than ever. I had to be able not only to subdue the powers of all my enemies, but also to repel their attacks. So Dino made sure that I gave it all my all. Okay. Ooh. I like that too, but I'm gonna go with this one. That's actually what I would wear. Like, they never actually give me something good here. Never. The hair or the outfits are horrible. At that moment, I was in stance that Dino taught me.
As long as you're on your feet, you haven't lost. And if you fall, don't give up.
Addie, Sammy, Mimi, and Christopher also trained, but all too often they were distracted by our activities. Except for Mimi and Christopher. They were distracted with each other. They whispered and giggled. Mimi pouted dramatically as if offended by something. Stop it.
Your wish is my command.
I love them!
Simona behind you.
I parried Dinah's blow.
Don't warn her. Are we supposed to stay quiet on the battlefield too?
She'll have someone covering her back when we're fighting.
You shouldn't rely on that though. Christopher is right. Simona, block.
Damn. I turned too slowly and Dino's energy struck my shoulder.
Let's continue.
Your concern is heartwarming. Fenzio walked around us, making caustic but useful comments from time to time.
And if your hands shook as much as hers are now, even the unclaimed would laugh at you.
Path of composure. I widened my stance and straightened my back. Attack.
Prove my father wrong.
No. Dino released a blast of energy at me. I reached out and physically tossed the energy ball to the side. But it almost hit Fenzio. Oops. Fenzio managed to jump aside and glared at me. I mean, that's what your ugly ass gets. I responded as if nothing had happened. What a shame. I'm sorry. The training lasted almost until sunset when Dino had to leave to deal with everything that had piled up during the day. Hilarious. We're all on hate Fenzio mode. I was alone examining my wounds when I heard Lilith's voice. She creeps me out, y'all.
They're trying very hard.
Is there any other choice? Lilith smiled and slowly walked towards me.
There are always choices. Would you like me to give you some advice?
Lately, everyone wants to give me some advice, but it'd be short-sighted to refuse. But I'll listen to you out of courtesy. You know what? She smiled broadly and slowly began to wander around the perimeter, watching me gather my things.
Have you heard about Olander, Satan the
Fifth?
Only that he existed. He reigned for 33,000 years before the era of harmony, and passionately loved his wife Dolores.
What was he like? I didn't understand what Lilith was getting at, but I decided to play along.
He was strong and loved his wife and children. He put his family above the throne. His love for his throne dear to him brought him to the top, but it also robbed him of ambition. Belial was his advisor then. To be honest, I don't understand how he manages to stay so youthful and handsome even as an immortal.
That! Belial is gorgeous! She smiled, raising her eyebrows as if we were friends gossiping over a cup of tea. How should I respond? His beauty scares me. His beauty scares me. His beauty is... oh my god.
They're not the only one to say so. Belial helped the Alphas ascend to the throne so that he could start a war with the underwater city.
I caught myself thinking that I wasn't really listening to her words. All those names had long since sunk into obscurity and had no relevance in the present. But a part of me also felt that I was wrong.
Olander was the only Satan to give up the throne without a fight. He did this to save his heirs. Following Belial's advice, he fled to the catacombs. After Alpa's reign and the subsequent reign of Azazel, Lucifer's grandfather Andras took the throne. Only then did Olander's heirs escape their confinement. Andras helped them return to high society to show that the blood feuds for the throne should stop. She extended her hand and looked at it with interest, as if seeing it for the first time. Do you know why my skin is so pale? There is no light or fire at all in the catacombs. Olander was your great-grandfather. Lilith came closer to me and gently touched my cheek. Her voice was quiet like a lullaby, but her gaze remained prickly. When I was young, I burned with rage, Simona. I was cruel and uncompromising. I was angry at the whole world for my fate. I was born at the foot of a throne. They should have bowed to me, and instead I wandered the darkness among fugitives. And then I met Lucifer's father, and he had enough rage for both of us.
Wow! And that's what she calls good?
I became calmer. My heart started to beat with a different rhythm. And Satan, feeding on my love, became the strongest. No one could doubt his right to the throne.
Why are you telling me this?
A ruler draws his strength from his beloved. Lucifer couldn't accept his second hypostasis for a very long time. But in the end he was able to. I want to believe that my love played a part in that.
You're getting to know Lucifer better. Aww. Lilith lowered her hands and took my fingers in hers.
You will become strong if you recognize what you can achieve while love is burning in your heart. Trust it. Fight in the name of love.
Thanks for the advice. I'll use it.
Glad to help.
She touched my cheek again, then smiled and sauntered toward the garden. Okay, girl. I went to Dinah's office to discuss matters. He was sitting where Plague had said. Nothing had changed since she left the academy, but Dinah's presence made the office feel cozier than before. I knocked and opened the door. Mimi was standing near the desk, idly flipping through one of the books.
Oh, hi. Are you also here to report to the big scary boss?
Dinah smiled and looking up from his papers. You're feeling playful. Could it be because of Christopher? Me too, girl. Dinah laughed and Mimi shook her curls, raising her chin.
No way, he's always getting on my nerves.
Girl, opposites attract. Yeah.
It seems like you enjoy it. Actually, I came to discuss the educational progress.
Uh-huh.
The teachers fled and Gerald and Miss Selena can teach everyone.
Like I said, we should wait to figure it out. Who knows what will happen tomorrow?
Any news?
There have been reports of the Mother of Life appearing in the sky.
That was actually just a joke, y'all. That was a joke that I did in the beginning of the episode. That was just a joke. Oh well.
She just watches.
She actually went into the sky, became nothing and everything at the same time and just watches. Just like imagine those big eyes just suddenly popping up in the sky. She knows everything. And the horsemen?
They stopped their attacks, but this is the calm before the storm. Lucifer is discussing how to proceed in hell, but Lala is worried. Malbonte hasn't left his room.
Foreboding crept into my heart.
Have you talked to him?
No, we
had a fight.
Dino didn't like Malbonte, but he respected my choice. I mean, everyone knows. No, but it's complicated. Have you tried reaching out to him?
I knocked, he didn't answer.
But he'll answer you.
So of course we have to go. Of course. I'll go to him. Let me know if you learn anything about the mother, okay?
Of course.
I said goodbye and went to Malbonte. This bitch better have something to tell me because Gerald and Miss Selena were walking down the hallway towards me. Miss Selena stopped when she noticed me, then continued walking, bowing her head slightly. When we were only a few steps away from each other, she guiltily looked me in the eye. They had stacks of books in their hands. Where are you coming from?
The library.
I'm still ashamed that it all turned out this way. I want to help. We're trying to find any mention of the Mother of Life to figure out how to defeat her.
We're unlikely to find anything useful here, but we have to start somewhere.
And then we'll fly to the Memory Islands.
Hope dies last, right? It's a great idea, Miss Selena. You all know what I think about Miss Selena and about the shit she pulled, but I'm not that angry and everything. Like, shit happened, it happened, whatever. Like, now we have to find a way to fight. And if she truly feels bad for the bullshit she pulled, I mean, if I'm mad at her or not, it doesn't really matter what happened. So, you know what? It's a great idea, Miss Selena. Anything can help.
Do you really think so? Of course. Then I won't distract you.
The moment we find something, we'll let you know.
Gerald and Miss Selena hurried on. I watched Miss Selena's retreating figure, and I felt sorry for her. Nanny and the Order had turned their backs on her.
As they should. Sorry, but that's still my opinion. But if she's willing to do everything she can in her power to make up for her mistakes, we should allow her to do so. So yes, Miss Selena. And she longed to get back what she'd lost. Everyone is worthy of being forgiven if they show true remorse. Outside Malbonte's door, I paused and listened. It was completely quiet in his room. This bitch doesn't do anything much. I'm pretty sure he's just standing at the balcony or something. Then I knocked, but there was no answer. I'm coming in. We are not ashamed to go in there. I slowly opened the door. Oh, wow. The room had an imposing, frightening atmosphere, as if darkness itself had frozen in the air. I didn't see him right away. Malbonte was sitting on the floor, half-dressed, with his head in his hands. Are we seeing that bloody knife there? He straightened up when I entered, but he seemed sluggish and vulnerable somehow. Drops of perspiration clung to his temples and brow. Malbonte was breathing heavily like an angry dog on a short chain. Oh no! Is that the influence of Sifamalum? He was ready to launch at the right moment, which never came. I heard an unintelligible whisper. At first I thought Malbonte had said something, but when I went closer I noticed that his lips were pressed into a thin white line. Yeah, Sifamalum.
Can you hear him too?
He looked up at me and I stepped back, not expecting to see his pupils fully engulfed in darkness. What's wrong with you?
Yeah! I'm good. What can I tell you?
Oh no! That means that this man has been suffering from nightmares and fighting Sifamalum's influence the entire time he locked himself in there.
Sifamalum.
I moved closer and sat beside him on the floor, anxiously examining his face. This happens often?
Lately, yes.
Why would he do this?
Gods can wait for millennia, and when the reckoning finally comes, to take every last drop of blood.
Oh no!
My boy, take my strength. Take it.
Oh hell no! I shrugged off a sudden wave of goosebumps, trying to hide the horror I felt. Wah! How do we shut him up?
That was a good comeback. That though.
Malbonte smiled bitterly. We can't.
Yeah.
Malbonte, you don't always have to give me right.
We don't.
He shook and quietly groaned, his fist clenching, and then began to slump to the side.
Oh
no. Malbonte. I managed to catch his head before it hit the floor. This man is psychologically torturing him. I don't know but for the fans of Teen Wolf, Season 3, Episode 20. Stiles is in that damn facility, hoping that he can escape the Nigitsune, but the Nigitsune is in there, in his mind, tormenting him, and he's using his heart in order to make Stiles succumb to him, as in allowing this man to take over him. And that's exactly what's happening here. This piece of shit is trying to psychologically weaken Malbonte that hard that Malbonte can't do anything but to give in to Sifamalum's influence. I hate that. With my arms around his shoulders, I lifted him slightly. Malbonte? Yeah, he needed help. Malbonte needs you! What should I do? Stay with him until he wakes? Yeah? I ran my hand over his cheek. His long eyelashes trembled as he slept fitfully. His lips relaxed and his face took on a peaceful expression. It was strange to watch him sleep, calm and defenseless as if he were a completely different immortal. I continued to hold his shoulders, out of some inexplicable, ungrounded fear that if I let go, he wouldn't wake up. I watched him sleep and remembered the time when his power had first filled my body. I'd been in agony, and he sat by my bed, wiping my forehead with a cool towel. It was my turn to take care of him. I was glad to be of use to him. Time passed and I didn't notice as I dozed off. A touch on my chin woke me. I cracked my eyes open to Malbonte's forced but surprisingly affectionate half smile. Oh, stop it! So sorry. Yeah, I mean, y'all, you all know by now that I'm a simp for Malbonte, and I'm also a wimp for Malbonte, but it's okay. I'm his wimp. It's okay. I'm a sucker for him. It's fine. I will always have, like, the soft spot for this man.
Hello.
How are you?
Did I scare you?
Yes. Just a little. Yes. Sir. The pain was so powerful that you were knocked out. Malbonte sat up, moved to the edge of the bed, and tiredly rubbed his eyes.
I don't want anyone to see that.
And I saw it. I'm not just anyone. That.
I know.
You're getting worse. Did I hear Sifa Malam's voice because of our connection?
I think so.
What does he want from you?
He wants me to give him what I promised.
And what did you promise? But of course, you won't tell me what you promised him.
No, I'm not going to tell you.
And why is that, you little bitch? You see, that's what I hate. This relationship. I understand that he, like, tries to protect us in his own way. And of course, we know that this man has always been mysterious. But as soon as he lets people in, he also shows that he truly cares. But he has that problem with opening up to people. Maybe he thinks he will put us in danger more if we know what Sifa Malam wants from him. But he is dying because of that, because he needs some kind of reassurance, and he can get that from anyone if he doesn't say what's going on. Either from fatigue or out of gratitude that I was there for him when he needed help, Malbonte's voice was softer than usual. It's true, Malbonte is grateful for your presence. Thank you for that. I impulsively stood up and moved closer to him. He spread his knees, allowing me to stand between his legs. This man said I'm ready for knockdown too. Oh, so sorry. I ran my fingers through his hair. Just promise me that everything will be okay. He can't. Lied to me. She's like, lied to me. You little bitch! What did you promise? I did say that he's gonna sacrifice himself, y'all. This man is gonna sacrifice himself. Because we know, for one thing, this man doesn't answer if he doesn't want to. But this man never lies. He was always straightforward. He was like, my plan is this, this, and that. The people that have a problem with that, I'm going to erase them. And the people that don't get in my way, I may find some use for you. But if not, you're out. This man has always been straightforward. So everything this man has always said was always the truth. So the fact that he couldn't say everything will be okay means that everything's not going to be okay. That means that he knows that if we know what Malbonte promised Sifa Malam, that we would try to find a way to get rid of Sifa Malam, and that would actually get us into serious trouble, or it could actually get us seriously hurt. And he wants to avoid that. That's why he refuses to open up. That could be a possibility, and it would suit to Malbonte. But the fact that we were like, lie to me, and he answered to that because we asked him to lie, and we know he never lies. He actually answered to us saying, lie to me. So that means he doesn't believe that everything is going to be fine. So that means that the bargain or the promise that he made to Sifa Malam must be huge.
Everything will be okay.
I laughed quietly, but it sounded more like a croak. Me too. Why are things so hard with you? Me too. Sir! Give me something else I can work with.
Sorry.
He kissed me, then pulled away and looked into my eyes.
Will you stay?
Yes, I don't want to go. No, I won't stay. To be quite honest, I would have to go with the gray option. To be quite honest, because that's how I feel right now. No, thank you. But I would be like a few minutes later back at his doorstep, so...
Yes, I don't want to go.
I do, but...
I'm gonna stop. His black eyes were fixed on me. Malbonte wasn't embarrassed by anything, not by the implications of his own question and my answer, not by the prolonged eye contact, and not by the way his fingers trembled as they pressed against my legs. Even as I looked at him in his weakened state, he remained unshakable. Without saying a word, he began to slowly remove my clothes, exposing my shoulders and then my breasts. I stood there, pined between his knees. Malbonte ran his fever-hot palms over my bare skin. I closed my eyes and whispered, barely opening my lips, "You're not feeling well."
It won't take long.
He actually said we're gonna do a quickie and nothing more. Wow, this little... I have the feeling that he needs to drown out Sifa Malam's voice with a powerful emotion. Since we are the owner of his heart, maybe the love he has for us, mixed with the lust and desire he feels for us, could kind of drown out the pressure that Sifa Malam is putting on him. He crumpled the fabric around my hips and jerked it down. I remained standing there in my underwear. "So you want to forget yourself like this?" That. I'd started talking out of nervousness, trying to fill the awkward silence.
It won't help. I just want to spend time with you.
Uh-huh. He kissed my collarbone. I closed my eyes and threw my head back.
Are you looking for the catch in every move I make now?
Yes, considering you're not completely honest and you're acting all shady, I have to. Don't you think you deserve it? That.
I do.
So why are you complaining? Malbonte cut the edges of my underwear and dragged them down, continuing to press his hands against my skin. I lowered my chin. The black mane of his hair was in front of me, and I ran my fingers through it, making a fist and pulling the strands back. Malbonte gave a short, quiet laugh. He obeyed, looking into my eyes. This is hilarious. There was nothing about him taking off his clothes. Without looking away, he leaned forward, paused, and then kissed my stomach. His hand stroked my thighs and butt, occasionally getting so close to sensitive areas that I shuddered. I gently pushed him onto the bed. Malbonte leaned back, his abs tensing. He didn't lie down completely, keeping his head up and reaching out to pull me along with him. I sat on him, stroking every scar on his skin and every muscle, paying special attention to the mark left by the mother of life. It glittered, blending with his skin. It looked out of place on a guy like him. Do you know what it means?
No, not now.
I felt his desire between my legs, and that realization left me breathless. I felt like I had tamed a beast, like I held his power in my hands, every last drop of it. That's what I said. He's trying to drown out Sifa Malam's voices with us. This all seems crazy. Malbonte sat up, wrapping his arms around my waist to keep me from falling. He began to kiss my neck, burning me with his breath.
What exactly?
You, me, what we're doing right now. We've already done it, girl. What are you so surprised?
When if not now?
When you're a little more calm in the head? He unclasped my bra and tossed it aside. My wings opened on their own, trembling from his kisses. I pressed myself against Malbonte, feeling especially fragile when he squeezed my hips and bit my skin. He was growing impatient. Well, sir, that's your fault. You're the one that wants to take it slow, so you need to deal with the desire that is growing inside of yourself. Like, this is your doing. Like, we are willing. You're the one that's keeping on pausing this. Not a trace of sluggishness remained. He crushed me under him, and after leaving another trail of kisses, whispered in my ear.
Lay on your stomach.
I did. He slid a pillow under me and spread my legs with his knee. He squeezed my hips, lifted them higher, and pressed the length of his body against my back, kissing my shoulder blades near the base of my wings. Malbonte ran his finger upward along my inner thigh. I buried my face in the sheets, holding back my moans, but when he finally entered me, I cried out softly. This man said, I want to take you from behind. This man. Oh my God. Are we seeing this? Even though I have to say Malbonte looks a little strange in this picture, but this picture is still flawless. Look at this. Oh my God. He thrust all the way in, pushing me into the bed. He said, we're gonna do it like Twilight. We're gonna break the bed. I'm so sorry. The frame creaked from the quick motions. Sharp pleasure gave way to a fleeting ache each time he drew back, only to drive in me again, even harder than before. Honestly, sometimes I am cringing at these romantic scenes because they try to make it out to be as if there is a deeper way in. Like, when the dick is already deep inside her ass, how deeper can it go? Like, is his dick gonna come out in her stomach? Like, where is the dick gonna come out? Like, it's gonna remain there, still in her ass. Like, what are they trying to explain here? That he's going even deeper into her? Like, there is no way deeper into it. I can't. Malbonte grasped the hair at the nape of my neck and gently lifted my head, cupping my chin as he kissed me.
Does it hurt?
No. I turned to face him, longing to see his eyes. The passion lurking within his usually cruel gaze was obvious now. If it weren't for Sifa Malon, what would he be like? Would he be more bond than Mal? Tender and open, capable of loving without any inner agony? When he kissed me and asked if it hurt, I knew for sure that the Malbonte, who was not destined to be still, lived inside him. His roughness gave way to passion, and only someone with a truly sensual nature could so intuitively understand how to make me feel so good. Girl, you are looking for someone evil. I mean, not evil, but you all know what I already said about that. As a pure soul, you're looking for a dark soul. As a dark soul, you're looking for a pure soul that you're slowly gonna corrupt. That's sadly how things go. Because the more you are with one another, you start to rub off on each other. So, like, the evil soul takes a little bit of your light, and that's exactly what turns your bright light darker, as in the fact that you are only made out of light and the other person is made out of darkness. You being around each other for a long time and you rubbing off on each other neutralizes you, as in you neutralize each other. You're no longer just good and just evil. You are neutral, as in 50% good and 50% evil. Because that person is bringing out the personality traits that you are trying to hide. I hardly moaned at all, drowning in such exquisite pleasure that I almost asked him to stop. My hand slid over the surface of the bed, clutching at the sheet in an attempt to keep myself from plunging into the abyss. I met Malbonte's excited, pitch-black gaze, finding a bold audacity I wouldn't have been able to manage normally. I didn't hide how good I felt. He wasn't afraid to show his feelings either, though he showed slightly more restraint. He sought my lips greedy, but sparing in his embrace, giving into feral passion. And I straddled him, wild with desire, desperate to quench my thirst. I writhed atop him, swooning and tossing my head back when Malbonte took the initiative again. He began to move so quickly that I needed his guiding hands to keep up. We didn't talk because we didn't have enough breath, and only when I felt that the end was near did I cling to Malbonte's neck, pressing my whole body against him and plaintively whispering, "Please don't stop." This scene. I can't. Malbonte grabbed my waist and moved faster, biting my lips. I shook in his arms, only moaning then, as I felt him falling into the abyss along with me. He had only been holding on because of me. It was a flattering realization. I felt hot for a while afterwards, but soon the chill air cooled my body and I slid under the blankets. After his dick was out of you, or while it's still in? They need to be a little more clear here. They're giving me a lot of images I can work with. I lay on Malbonte's chest, trying to catch my breath, and quietly thought about everything that had happened. Okay, so it's still in her ass. Okay.
Simona?
Yes? I looked at him, but he was looking at the ceiling with one hand behind his head.
Did hunger teach you to use your power?
Yes.
If you want, I can help you develop it.
Oh, really? You want to help now? I'm already practicing.
The stronger you become, the safer you will be in the future.
He returned to his thoughts. I buried my nose in his neck and, finding my courage, said, "Sometimes I feel like I'm running after you, but I can never catch you. You're like a ghost, unreachable. Will there be a day when I understand, when I know for sure?" I wanted to say that you need me. Well, tell him. I mean, after all the moments you two spent together, he might as well at least know that we are uncertain. But the words got stuck in my throat. I knew that he needed me, but I also knew that his goal would always come first.
I'll never be able to give you the warmth that others can.
Sir, I just want some clarification. Like, I said it multiple times. There are people that can show love openly and there are people that can't. Me, I don't think I am that open. I'm just very honest. And I asked a lot of my friends and they all say the exact same thing. I am very straightforward, and that sometimes can even come off as too strong, as in me being capable to talk like this is something that a lot of people can't. This is something that a lot of people are struggling with. Apparently, what I'm doing, I see it as normal, but apparently that's something out of the ordinary for someone introverted or something. Like, I just say what I feel, and maybe because everyone kept on telling me that I'm too naive or that I'm insanely introverted, that I can't speak up my mind, etc. So I automatically still assumed that a lot of people still have like that opinion about me, but apparently that's not it anymore. Apparently now I'm that straightforward, I'm that good at saying what I feel, and I'm very good at uttering my opinion, that a lot of people see this as me being insanely bold, as in insanely outgoing, insanely confident, and that sometimes even comes off as too strong for a lot of people. I thought I was being like doing the bare minimum, but apparently that's not it anymore. But coming back to this, there are a lot of people that can show emotion and show like that warmth that this man is talking about, as in saying I love you, bringing flowers, etc. But there are people that can't. They like kind of try to show it in a different way, as in trying to protect you in their own way by, like he's doing right now, by not making you worry about them. And they do it by not involving you in their dangerous affairs. That's how they protect you. And it may not look like much, but it is something that is very difficult for them. Like in the last season at the ball where Malbonte let us go. I mean, he wanted to let us go, but then hunger captured us. That was unfortunate, but from Malbonte's point of view, when this man let us go, this was something that he shouldn't have done, because that could have risked this man's safety being with the horsemen. But the love he had for us was so powerful that he couldn't hand us over to them. So he was like, you have to leave. We would have preferred for him to say like, stay with me, or for him to come with us. But he said, you need to leave, as in I'm willing to stay here and take all the damage, as in all the suffering that they could put on me when they realized that I let you go. But this is the only freedom I can offer you. I can't allow them to capture you. That was like a huge sign of love from his point of view. It doesn't seem like much for people that actually need that warmth, but it was a huge amount of affection for someone like him, as in for someone that is insanely closed off. He fell silent, as if this was a difficult topic for him too.
But I promise I'll give you everything else, everything I'm capable of.
I pressed myself even closer to him if that was possible, and he held me tighter. Malbonte really wants to be with you. Aw, we heard shouting outside the door. I jumped up but turned to Malbonte.
Go.
I silently put my hand on his chest, smiled, and began to get dressed. Malbonte.
Yes?
Please don't go crazy. Weak. You know what? I love you. If he's not gonna be capable to say it, we're capable to say it, so we're gonna say it. He considered me, taking his time to answer. His lips parted and I heard a quiet but confident, "Oh." See, he can't say it, but him saying it like this is like him saying it back. Like I said, this all has to do with the person. Like people that need that warmth, they aren't content with that answer. And I would have to say I can be both of these people. Like the people that actually need to hear that warmth, and people that are like, you know what, I understand because I know who you are, so it's fine if you can't say it, but I know that you show it to me through actions. So the fact that this man like is willing to go to the extremes of something that he's not good at just for us shows a lot already.
I know, and I you.
Oh, At the door, I looked back. Malbonte lay down on the pillows and covered his eyes with his hand. Sweet dreams. I went out, leaving him to recover. Recover what? And you don't have to recover? You are the one that has been thrusted into. The night was receding, and the sun was already glowing on the horizon. A shadow was moving quickly toward me down the hallway. As I got closer, I recognized Eliza. Okay, I'm gonna stop. She looked worried and breathless. What's wrong with you, girl?
Finally, I called and shouted, but everyone seemed to be asleep.
What's wrong?
It's Kira.
You know what? What about her? Is she safe? Eliza's hands trembled as she brought them to her face.
She flew to the island to Plague.
What? To Plague?
To whatever's left of her.
I don't think anything has happened to Kira. Kira may be in danger. To be quite honest, if she's flying to her remains, then maybe this is something that a higher power wants. We need to go after her. I ran to the end of the hallway towards Sammy and Addie's room. They were on the same floor as me. I knocked on the door with a touch more impatience than I had intended. I didn't have to wait long.
Hey, do you know what time it is?
I'm so sorry, Addie, but baby, we need to go. Addie was standing just inside the door, pulling his clothes on. It doesn't matter, you're coming with me.
Please, quickly, what if she gets lost?
What's the matter? Sammy.
I flew out between the columns and waited for them up in the sky. Sammy needed a little longer to get ready, but a few minutes later, we were already flying towards the islands. What is this shit?
Why are you so worried? She flew off, but she'll be back. She's just a child, Addie.
That Sammy knows. She also opened one of the seals and may be of interest to the Mother of Life. I waved my arm so that the glittering mark was in full view.
You still haven't figured out what they're for, have you?
Nope, not yet. Miss Alina and Gerald are working on it.
Hey, see ya.
Addie sped up and we hurried after him. Oh my god. I spotted Kira before I reached the island. She was a tiny dot wandering the sky against the backdrop of a massive island. Kira, what are you doing here? Oh! Kira turned at the sound of my voice, but then continued on her way again. Nothing remained of Plague. She'd been blown away by the wind. So why was Kira here? To honor her memory? To say goodbye? On the ground lay Plague's sword, which this horseman of death couldn't lift, even though he had beheaded her. Kira stopped in front of it and looked at it thoughtfully. Addie and Sammy landed nearby, intending to talk to her, but she shrank back like a wild animal when they tried to approach.
We won't harm you. She's afraid of us.
Leave her alone. As soon as my feet touched the ground, I began walking toward her, but I stopped when she flinched. Why did you fly away from the academy? It's dangerous here.
Fear has no power unless you give in to it.
Kira turned to the sword again, reached out, and... Are you gonna capable to pull it out? Because I did make that remark in the beginning of the season. Picked it up, period! Because she was kind of like the reason why Plague was capable to be destroyed. Effortlessly, her arms only strained from the weight of the sword itself. Addie ducked away from the tip of the blade, which Kira almost scratched him with.
I'll be damned. How did she do that?
Kira's able to lift it because Plague was meant to fall by her hand. Kira waved her sword through the air and began to laugh through her tears.
Farewell, Plague. I'm not afraid anymore.
Kira! This was Kira saying, I'm ready to fight, bitch. And we love to see it. We love to see this improvement on Kira. I don't think that's true that Plague was supposed to fall through Kira's hand, but Kira is the reason why Plague was capable to be killed in the first place. That's what I would believe. But anyways, we will see. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.